Hey everyone, today we're going to walk through the Ressio and QuickBooks Online integration. As a reminder, some key things here to keep in mind is we will want to pull over your QBO cost codes into Ressio, which we can do via a sync. And that's super easy to set up during your onboarding. And then also on an individual project basis, you're going to want to come in to your project details, navigate to financials, and go down to connect to QuickBooks so that you can connect it to the proper QBO project. So we're connecting Kayla's QBO project in Ressio with my Kayla's project. There are also some key areas where we integrate, and you can either choose to turn those on or off for a job. Key ones include we can integrate with QuickBooks time tracking, sending invoices to QuickBooks, and sending bills from QuickBooks. We'll also receive your bills from QuickBooks too in the budget actuals. So let's start off there. We're gonna go into the budget for this particular project and come over to our actuals column. So the actuals integration is a two-way integration, meaning we can either enter the actuals or the bills and expenses directly into Ressio and have those pushed into your QuickBooks Online account, or we can have those entered in QuickBooks and have them pulled into Ressio. To enter a bill, you can either do it directly from the budget page using our shortcut and just come in here and enter in an amount by clicking on the zeros right there, or you can also use our bills functionality over here on the left to enter it. Either way, it's gonna get us to the same place. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do it from our shortcut, and we'll pick on footings and stem wall materials today. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna add a bill, and just enter in some quick information. Once you add in all of your information, you're gonna wanna go ahead and save this, and that's also gonna kick off the approval process. If you have any questions on entering bills or the bills approval process, please let us know. We have additional videos on that, and our team can help you out as well if needed. But there's a two-step approval process. So there's the person that marks it ready for approval, and then there's also the final approval as well. And again, that could all be the same person, or it could be multiple different individuals. Most important thing to keep in mind though is once we do the final approval, this is when the bill will get pushed into QuickBooks Online. So we're gonna approve and push this on over. Now that our bill has been pushed into QuickBooks, I'm gonna wanna go into QuickBooks and navigate to my bills, and I can see down here, Kayla Lawrence Framing has sent a bill for today, July 16th, for $1,500. So you then can come on in here and you can schedule out your payment, view the bill and edit it, delete, do your different edits in here or mark it as paid. So I'm just come in here and check this out, and we're just gonna see all the information getting pulled over from what we entered in Ressio. So that is the process for coming on in here and pushing that information over from Ressio. Also go ahead and mark that as paid as well. Now let's talk about adding a bill directly into QuickBooks and that going into your Ressio portal. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add my bill here. We're gonna create a new bill. Couple quick things to call out here. You're gonna wanna come in and enter in your vendor. I'm gonna do Kayla Lawrence Framing. We're also gonna wanna come in here and add in our information. I'm gonna do it for the same item that we just did, the footing and stem walls, but you can come in here and edit your products and services, and that's just that cost code from earlier. It's reverting to the last bill that we had, so we'll change the amount on this to make tracking a bit easier. Change that to 2,300, and then you're gonna wanna add in your customer or your project. So we want Kayla's project. And from there, you can add in a description if you want. We'll do it because why not? And additional details. You could also add in multiple line items as well. And at this time, we're going to save. Now we're going to come back over to Ressio and we want to go over to our 601 footings and stem wall materials, and we can see the actual has been updated. And if we come on in here, we're going to see that it has imported our bill for the 2300 with our description and the vendor and information. From here, we can see the status is currently imported. Eventually, once that gets marked as paid as our original bill did, this will get updated in the Ressio system in your project actuals. So that is the process of either creating your bills directly in Ressio and pushing those over to QuickBooks, or creating those directly in QuickBooks and then pulling that information into Ressio. Now let's talk about creating invoices in Ressio. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my invoice tab up here. Depending on what your project's set to, whether it's cost plus or fixed price, that will determine what options we have here in our drop down. With this one being fixed price, we have by amount, by percentage, or from changes. For your cost plus work, you'll be able to come in here and do it by amount, from project actuals, or from changes as well. I'm gonna go ahead and just do it by amount and generate our invoice. Once you enter in your invoice information, you're gonna go ahead and save this. From here, it's gonna make your invoice for the project. If you have any questions about our invoices, please let us know. Happy to dive deeper into that, but you can come on in here, do your different adjustments over here on the right for the level of information you would like this to show, add in some terms and conditions and attachments, edit your description, and then release out to your client. What you'll notice here is this will notate that it will push this invoice to QuickBooks Online. So we're gonna go ahead and release that. Now, if we come into QuickBooks and we navigate to our invoices, I'm gonna come over here July 16th and see that we have that invoice here, which is the 4180. And then just like we did for the bills, you can come in here, view and edit, and then we can also receive payments either in QuickBooks, or we do have the ability to receive ACH payments through the Ressio portal. So we'll click in here and we can view this as well. The next part of our Ressio and QuickBooks integration is the time clock. So you can come on in here and we can record shifts directly in Ressio and push those into your QuickBooks account. So I'm gonna go ahead and record a shift. As a reminder, Ressio's time clock, you can either clock in and out on site, or you can record previous shifts. Either way works. Again, happy if you have any questions here to discuss that over a call with your customer success coach, or feel free to ask us, and we have plenty of other videos and trainings around that. I'm gonna go ahead here and record a previous shift. Most important thing is to make sure it's getting recorded to the proper job. Once you've entered your information to record your shift and you have the proper project and the proper cost code, that can then be submitted to the system. Once you've submitted your time clock entry, we want to be sure to come in here and approve it. Once we approve it, this will push it into your project budget and push it into QuickBooks Online. Coming back to our QuickBooks Online account, you can go ahead and here and your time entries will move over so we can see our time entry for July 16th, Kayla rent for 8 hours, and our total cost. That's the last of the QuickBooks and QBO integration. If you have any questions, definitely let us know. We'd love to help you guys get this set up and look forward to chatting with you.